Hi, I'm Sally, and I want to talk about how you can save money on outdoor gear. I have a separate video with one specific hack, which is to buy youth or children's sized clothing if you can get away with it. But I have a whole bunch more tips that I want to cover in this video. So tip number one is shop your closet. You do not need the most specialized gear to do a lot of activities. For example, a t-shirt you wear to the gym is going to work just fine if you're out on your mountain bike, and in some cases if you're out hiking, depending on the climate. You can improvise with random things. Here's a picture of me hiking to Black Tusk about 15 years ago when I was a broke retail worker, and I'm wearing mountain bike shorts and my ballet leg warmers. So do what you have to do to get outside, as long as you're safe and at least somewhat comfortable, although the point is to be uncomfortable. So have a look through your closet, figure out what you can get away with repurposing, and then you can focus on the gaps and spend your money on those really important items that you're going to really miss if you don't have them. Another tip, see if you qualify for discounts or pro deals from any stores or brands that you want to buy from. That includes people, in some cases, like teachers, government employees, people who volunteer with Girl Guides or Boy Scouts. You might actually qualify for discounts that you don't realize from outdoor retailers or brands. And of course, if you have a more outdoor-oriented career, or you're a member of armed forces, of search and rescue, or you work for an outdoor retailer, then there's a good chance that you can qualify for some really good discounts. So check their websites and ask at your local retailers. Also check at your local retailers if there's discounts for memberships in certain clubs or co-ops. For example, yesterday I just got a 20% discount off parts and labor at my bike shop because I'm a member of the local mountain bike association. My next tip is to try to get stuff for free. And this is especially great if you're just starting out in a sport or a hobby and you need a full set of gear. And it's especially great too if you're not overly picky about the style, the color, the brand. If you're open-minded, show up to events where people give stuff away. So that means store special events where they have draw prizes. It means showing up, try volunteering at local events, races or other events where they give out stuff to volunteers. Sign up for events and make sure you stick around for the draw prizes. I've been shocked by how much stuff I've gotten for free in the last few years. I think it's fair to say thousands of dollars worth of free stuff just by showing up for the draw prizes. Another way is comparison shopping, and I'm a big fan of supporting local businesses. But if you're on a tight budget and you know what you want, make sure to go on Google and compare prices for things using their shopping search engine. So a mistake I often make is I wait until a couple of days before I'm leaving on a trip to run around town and start grabbing the gear that I'm missing, because often I'm in denial that I'm going to need it in the first place. And that always means that I wind up paying full price for things that I could have bought on sale if I'd been a little bit more proactive about planning ahead and watching for sales. Follow your local retailers and your favorite brands to make sure that you know when they're having a big sale so you can capitalize on that. Secondhand, let's talk about secondhand. So Facebook Marketplace and others, those platforms have tons of outdoor gear and clothes on there. Not everything is the best thing to buy secondhand. I'm going to go ahead and say that a tent that has had anything more than minimal use, just don't even bother. You don't want to have to worry about the poles being broken or smelling like mildew or just being really outdated. The seam tape falls off after a certain amount of time. And I find that often people who are selling almost new equipment are asking so much money that you may as well just buy it new and have the confidence that it's going to have all the parts and then it hasn't been shoplifted and all of that. Another used platform that I've used is Poshmark online. I would be wary on any online platform about counterfeits. For example, I know here there has been a pile of counterfeit Arc'teryx jackets on Facebook Marketplace. You do not want to shell out hundreds of dollars for something that might not have the same quality. Just be wary and be canny about what you buy online used. I would check thrift stores, especially for clothes, because you never know You might find some really great clothes there for pennies on the dollar. Another idea is to make your own gear. So if you're crafty or you know how to sew, then looking up make your own gear online will give you some really great ideas about what you can make. And the advantage, of course, is that it could be extra customized for you. If you're not sure whether you want to get into an activity, I really recommend renting or seeing if you can borrow gear before you invest. Because that way, once you know you want to get into it, you can spend a little bit more money to get gear that is better and will last longer, instead of cheaping out on entry-level gear and then having to rebuy a year or two down the road when you want better gear. I strongly believe that if you are flexible, you can save a ton of money on outdoor gear. If you're willing to compromise on the exact colors, the season that it was manufactured, you can save so much money. So for example, I bought this 3-layer Gore-Tex rain jacket from the last hunt. This is not my favorite color. It's fine. I bought this, the sticker price on this is $460 because this is probably their most high-end Gore-Tex shell. I bought it for $85. So there's no way on the planet that you could ever find like an Arc'teryx shell for $85, even on the biggest sale of the year. So I can take my other, $400, $500, $600, whatever the difference is, and go spend it on other awesome outdoor gear or, travel. To me, that is such better value. And I don't care if that Arc'teryx jacket is like ever so slightly incrementally better, because I would rather have the hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go and do cool stuff with. That's why I'm making a plug for looking at different brands. A website that I really like is The Last Hunt, and for years I thought it was some kind of scam website, but it is not. It is the liquidation outlet for one of the major retailers, online retailers here in Canada, and it has pretty awesome deals. And if you watch for when they offer additional discounts on top of the already discounted products, the thing is you cannot return things from that website, so stick to items that you are confident will fit you. If you are in the market for a rain jacket in particular and you are just wincing at the prices of good rain jackets, I'm going to point you towards Frog's Togs. These look like crap. You'll look like you're wearing a potato sack, but they are super waterproof and so cheap and so lightweight. A lot of thru hikers are using them. You'll look like you really know what you're doing if you're wearing those. There are other budget hacks like that actually get you a better product. Do a little research, check the Reddit groups and other blogs of thru hikers and see what kind of budget hacks they have that actually get you a lighter, better product than expensive things out there on the market. If you're bikepacking or backpacking a lot and you need to bring food with you, consider what food you can bring that is cheaper than the freeze-dried meals at the outdoor stores. Now, I love those meals, and it is really nice not to have to assemble food myself when I'm out in the backcountry, but you can save a lot of money by bringing alternatives, like bringing some noodles and sauces, or bringing your own oatmeal, bringing couscous. There's all sorts of ideas out there. Check the thru hiker websites and blogs, because they're the ones who are eating month after month in the backcountry and can't afford to use freeze-dried food. Also, consider dehydrating your own food to make backcountry meals. You don't need a dehydrator to do that. I've done it in my oven with just using the oven light over a period of many days. Again, look online for ideas about that. And on that note, if there is a universal discount at your local outdoor retailer or online where everything in the store is on sale, even if it's just by 15%, stock up on the essentials like fuel and food that you know you're going to use before the expiration date. Because the final one is to take care of your gear and wear it even if it's a little bit worse for the wear. Be aware of the special ways to maintain equipment. For example, rain jackets should be washed with special detergent regularly to keep their water resistance. Likewise, merino has to be washed with sulfate-free detergent. If you take care of your gear, it's going to serve you well longer and you won't have to replace it so much. So that's it. Those are all my tips. Hope to see you out there.